everyone. So today I would like us to go over some consonant sounds that are a bit unusual, and they pertain to specific situations. So there's three kinds of situations I want to talk about today. I want to talk about final consonant sounds, and how sometimes they change. I want to talk about the flap sound, which is something I'm sure you've encountered and wondered about. And I also want to talk about aspiration. Okay, so the first topic is final consonant sounds. So I'm not sure if you've noticed this one, but sometimes when a word ends in what we call a stop consonant, if the next word begins with another consonant sound, what we do is we say it's unreleased. So let me just give you an example. We've all been to McDonald's, right? When you order, you say, "I would like a Big Mac." So did you notice I didn't say Big Mac? So for a native English speaker, it's very natural for me to hold the G in big. It's awkward if I say Big Mac because it's two consonants right next to each other. Okay, so that is an example of an unreleased consonant. What I want to do is go over some examples, and let me grab my cheat sheet here. Okay, so when I was saying there are stop consonants, what I mean is the sounds, and we've gone over this in the past in prior consonant lessons, it's the t, p, that's the T and P sound. There's the k, b, d, g. So I know it just sounds like a weird jumble of sounds, but you'll notice for all of those, I have a release of air. So it's t, p, k, b, d, g. Now I've scrambled them a little bit because what I did in prior lessons is I divided them between voiced and voiceless. So I won't go into that today, but so anyway, let me go through this by letter. So how about the letter B when a word ends in B and the next word is a consonant? So again, I'm talking about this unreleased B. So if I said web page, you see I held on to the B, web page. It's not incorrect if you say web page. It's, for a native speaker, it would just sound a little awkward and it takes up too much time. Okay, next one, how about job search? Job search. Okay, let's keep going. For p endings, P endings, how about stop that? Stop that. How about help me? Help me. That's not to say that in certain circumstances we don't enunciate each word. Let's say I'm shouting across an ocean, what have you, and I really need that listener to understand me. I probably would say, "Help me." But in normal speech, I would say, "Help me, help me." I would hold on to that P sound. Okay, let's keep going. How about for the G endings? So, big problem, big problem. And I already did it, Big Mac. Also, dog food, dog food. Let's keep going. K sound, back door, back door. Quick fix, quick fix. How about D endings? Good boy, good boy. Cold weather, cold weather. Finally, the T endings, sit down, sit down. Get back, get back. Okay, let's move on to the next situation I want to talk about. These are the flap sounds. And I know you've encountered these. They may have caused you confusion. This is when you have the sound T or D, the T or D, and we say it very quickly as a D sound. So, for example, we typically don't say water in American English. We would just say water, water. So even though it's the letter T, even if I'm shouting and I really want someone to understand me, I would say water. But in normal speech, I would just say water, water. And it's not water, water. It's not a real D. It's a quick D sound. Let's keep going. How about waiter? Waiter. And this is, again, it's a T, but I'm not really saying a T. I'm saying what? Waiter. I need a waiter. Better. Those are even a double T, and I did not say better. Okay, I'll keep going so your ear gets used to hearing this. Bitter, little, pretty, butter, city. Wedding. Here's an example where it's two different words. One is spelled with a T, one is spelled with a D, and we say it exactly the same. So this can be confusing for English learners, and unfortunately you have to listen to the context of the sentence. So my example is writer, writer. So one is a writer with a W, someone who writes books, articles, that's a writer. The other one is rider with an R and a D, like a train rider, motorcycle rider. Okay, some more of these kind of double examples. Metal, metal. Ladder, ladder. Okay, so these are really kind of advanced situations that you may not necessarily master all of this right now. I just want you to be aware that when native speakers are using these sounds, I want to reduce your confusion. Also, I don't want you to think that this is wrong when we do this. It is not necessarily correct to say water. What's correct is what people do. That's kind of how linguists look at language. Language changes. So maybe, I don't know how many centuries ago, or even if you go to a different English-speaking language, they may say water. But in standard American English, we would just use the flap sound and we would say water. And that's considered correct speech. Okay? Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is aspiration. So this is, I think, again, very advanced. I'm just letting you know how you can kind of polish your English. So, when you have a voiceless stop, p, t, k, luckily it's only 3. You don't have to worry about the voiced counterparts. It's just p, t, k. When you have those, and when they are at the beginning of a stressed syllable, you do an extra puff of air. So you can hear when I do p, t, k, there's already air, p, t, k. You can feel it. I'm talking about an extra burst of air. So when I say the word pin, if I do p, pin, the second one has a lot of air. If you have a piece of paper, I don't have a piece of paper right now, but if you put a piece of paper right here, you'll feel the difference, and the paper will flap when you say the aspirated sound. So, and also what you can do is you can close your eyes and just listen very carefully, and let me just do all these aspirated sounds, and I'll start with the isolated sound, and then I'll do the word, and tell me if you can hear that extra burst of air. So I'll do p, p, pin. You hear that? P, paper. P, pen. P, people. Okay? I feel like some English language learners feel that when American speakers do this, it almost sounds like we're shouting or we're angry. That's not what's happening. This is how we say these words. There is quite a bit of air, the aspiration. Okay, let's move on to the next sound, the t, 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 top, t, table, t, take, t, teacher. Okay. Let's move on to the last sound. It's the k, k, cat, k, coffee, k, key, k, camera. So hopefully you kind of got used to the sound of when I'm like pushing out all this extra air. Let me see if I can try to do these words without aspiration. So if I said bin, pin, pin, I can barely do it, pin, bin. If I say words like that, it almost makes it sound like I'm saying bin with a B. So in English, the p and the b are different, and this aspiration helps also. So if I say pin, bin, okay? So I hope that you continue to practice, continue to open your ears, especially when you're watching TV or radio. And I think once you have these concepts in your mind, you're going to hear these situations happen more and more, and you'll be able to also produce them. So good luck in your continued success with perfecting your English pronunciation.